Hello. Welcome to today's Q&A on my upcoming workshop on February 14th, 2018 called Use Positive Communication to Transform Your World. And so I'm going to take a few minutes today to answer some questions you might have about the workshop. And I'll also explain a little bit what the workshop's all about so that you can have me explaining it live as opposed to reading it on a screen. So positive communication, I've been teaching positive communication for many years. Didn't realize it was actually called positive communication until about a year and a half ago, where I picked up a book called The Art of Positive Communication and started researching positive communication and seeing that it's actually a thing, and there's some really cool stuff out there. And as I started making connections between what I did naturally and some of the theory, I thought this is really an amazing approach, and I'd love to bring it to people. And so this new workshop that I'm going live with, public, that I haven't necessarily delivered to any specific audiences. So it's fresh material that I've been working on and putting together. And so the aspects of the program, there are 3 areas of the program that I'm going to be looking at. And the first area is really looking within. So there's a self-awareness area, looking within. So how aware are we of our communication styles, of our tendency to speak with a negative perspective or mindset? Sometimes that's just a huge awakening. So I've done this with groups before, and it seems to be one of the key aspects to really succeeding in using positive communication. And the transformation really happens within, honestly, and then as a result, then it goes outward, and that's the second area. So the second area is the learning journey. So as you become more aware, then you can go ahead and start looking outward. So what is this learning journey offering you? What are the different things that you want to accomplish? What are the things you need to learn about yourself and those around you? And so that's the second area. And the third area that I'm going to be tackling and bringing to you on February 14th is legacy. So what is a legacy you want to leave behind with your communication? So we're going to look at future. What is your future, and how can you plan to communicate with others in a way that leaves them refreshed and engaged and excited for what they have to do next? Because we're all really just going about our days with our own agendas and our own to-do lists. And so as we communicate and engage with others, how can we empower and engage people to go forward and do what they need to do with their work, with their family, with their communities? So it's quite a powerful approach. So inward, outward, and then future. What do we want to leave behind? It is aligned to the key aspects of my book, The Apple in the Orchard, and I will be bringing that to the workshop as well. So those are the 3 areas, and the key objectives of the one-day workshop are, there's quite a few of them, but it's going to be a very focused day. It's very, very active. So we're going to be looking at doing some activities to help in each of the 3 areas that I explained. So the first objective is to define and recognize positive communication. So we're going to give it a name. We're going to give it a definition. We're going to try to identify it in our everyday world. Self-assess your communication style. So I'm going to bring some self-assessments to help you try to understand, how are your thoughts? What level of positivity are you currently in your thoughts, in your words, and in your body language? Those are the 3 areas we're going to look at. Now, after we do that, I'm going to look at, you're going to be able to list your personal benefits for using positive communication. So even though it's a methodology and an approach that I'm going to be bringing to you, and It's possible that you've already been using it. In order for us to really apply it and use it going forward, I'm going to ask you to list your personal benefits for using it on a daily basis, because it is quite a practice. Um, because the negativity is always there, trying to get first level for us, first attention. But so we have to keep aware of the fact that we need to keep working at it. So the next objective is to use positive communication to improve your relationships. So ultimately, it's about the relationships that we have with others and the one we have with ourselves. And in particular, we're going to look at language. So what are the different language you're using in your relationships? And those relationships can be far and wide. It could be with your family. It could be with your workmates. It could be with your clients. And it could be with your students. A lot of people that I work with are often teachers. And so how can we increase the positive communication we have with our students, which is really, really important. And then how do we use body language and presence to support the positive language? So those are the two areas we're going to look at. The last two objectives is really about the future. So we're going to look at planning. So I'm going to give you a framework for you to plan future activities, to be able to use these positive communication techniques in your daily life, and then to document the transformation that happens, because it will happen. And I've seen that, and I've had some feedback from other students. Connect with other like-minded people who share your passion for creating positive outcomes. So this workshop obviously will call to people who feel that this is a priority for them, that they want to definitely learn how to do this. And so you'll be surrounded by those kinds of people over one day. So isn't that fantastic? So who is this workshop for is another question that I get. So obviously learning about positive communication is helpful for everyone, but primarily this workshop is for anybody who leads others. So I mentioned before, teachers. Teachers lead others every day, whether you're working with little ones or whether you're working with teenagers, young adults, or adults. This is a very important focus that you could have to really transform how the message gets across and how the learning happens. So I put here educators, trainers, facilitators, team leaders, supervisors. Again, you are responsible for keeping others inspired throughout their workday. So this is a really good tool that you can use. Managers, leaders, executives, and then in particular whole teams. So I'm offering this workshop at a very reasonable price, as opposed to what it is being offered in more established organizations, because I wanted to make it accessible to everybody. So I want everybody to get a chance to really try it out if you're trying this out for the first time, and share with us on this one-day journey. So whole teams, it's a perfect opportunity financially for you to come with your team if you're a leader, or even if you're just one member of a team and thinks, hey, let's do this. This is really important and we can go and do this together. So January 24th is just a few days away. It's the last day for the early bird special. I've got $100 off for 5 people or more who register. And if you're on your own, the last day for the early bird is also on the 24th, and it's the lowest rate that you're going to get. And so as of the 25th, the rates do go up, and currently I have 8 spots left. So if you want one of those spots, please feel free to register on the Eventbrite page. I look forward to seeing you on the 14th. Bye-bye.